What's up, guys? This is ByzantineFalcon, and today we're on Prokhorovka Standard Battle. The Greens have taken the northern spawn and the Reds have taken the southern spawn, and we are in nothing other than the Batchat 25T. French Tier 10 medium. I do have a full platoon with me. Now, when you are in a medium tank, traditionally the mediums end up kind of rolling the mid, lighting things up. You know, the Reds that end up pushing up too much to try to get shots on the mediums end up getting punished by the campers at opposite corners. When I'm talking about opposite corners, I'm talking about like B1, J1, or even perhaps like B6 at the tracks. And the opposite, of course, on the other side. So just remember, guys, if you pull up somewhere and you are in cover or you are hold down, you may not be hold down to everyone. You may be hold down to a select few. So please just keep that in mind. Now, right now, I'm just kind of poking up here, backing out. Got some good shots on a Moss here. He's just walking, or excuse me, he's just driving sideways. And we're just kind of punishing him as he covers some open ground. But they've got a lot of clickers, so I'm loath to stay stationary for too long, because I'm afraid once they get locked onto me, it's going to be over. One of them's getting lit up already, which is always a good thing in my book. We put a round in him there, a little bit of blind fire, and get him off the board. IS-7 looks like he's trying to creep on us over here, running down the 2 line. Now, a lot of times, guys, you're going to see people try to kind of sneak down the 1 line, because when Wargaming redesigned this map, you don't have so much like an elevated area in the A1, B1 area, and the opposite on the other flank. If you remember, it used to be extremely elevated. You could shoot almost anywhere on the map. I mean, virtually from those locations. And since Wargaming has kind of leveled those out, that has kind of broken up the campers who used to just sit back there all game and snipe. So I think it's a good thing. They even kind of gave it a little trench over here. So more often than not, you're going to see a heavy push down the one line. Either side, can make the push. And more often than not, it's going to be your heavies and your pocket mediums that are pushing down there. And maybe even your heavily armored TDs. Now, a good secondary location for a good medium tank, such as the Batchat, is up on the hill here, as close to the 50-yard line as you can get. 50-yard line is right between, right in the EF area. And once you get there, guys, you can just kind of sit there most of the game as long as you want and just light things up. The downside is, more often than not, you end up getting so close, if you fire, you'll get detected right off the bat. So just be aware of that. A lot of times it's better to just sit there and soak up the assist damage versus trying to get some rounds on target. Occasionally, of course, I think, we all end up getting a little antsy and start shooting a little too early, but you know what happens to all of us. So, I've got green thumb. I'm in dense bush. Not a lot here going on for the Reds. They're getting lit up. They have no earthly idea what's going on. Might as well be a T-71 in the bush here, because they're just clueless to where I'm at. And that's exactly how I like it. And the good thing is, we have lots of clickers on our team, so they can rain hatred down upon them, and no risk to myself. You can see right there, I got a little antsy. I said, you know what, I've got to shoot this guy. It's just killing me to have all these side shots and me not take advantage of them. And I just happened to be so lucky to where they could not spot me even if I was firing. So the shots kind of dried up. I went ahead and dumped the mag. It was a, decision, and I think it was going to end up being a good one, because, realistically speaking, I don't need to be firing for the next 38.5 seconds by design, because if I do, if they get any closer, they're going to spot me, and then I'm going to have to reposition, and I'm going to lose what assist I'm getting. But if you'll look, the clickers aren't really shooting at this guy a whole lot anymore, which you would think would be their primary target, since these tanks typically don't move around a whole bunch. It's not like they're going to make surprise appearances on the map. Now, the best thing you can do in going for marks of excellence is track people. You know, if your tank doesn't have fantastic spotting, if it, doesn't have a good view range, if you don't have a good crew in it, just track people, let the rest of the team punish them, and you will get that assist damage. So, I did get spotted. I am out of there, and I'm gone. There's literally nothing they can do to stop me. I don't even think they can connect with me. The clickers there fired a couple of rounds at me, but, I think they would have a better chance of hitting the power ball than hitting me. So I've got 3 in a clip right here. I made a clutch shot. I kind of knew there was little to no chance it was going to happen. But, we've got a guy right here who's in trouble, and I am loath to stay stationary. So we go ahead and spray him up with some rounds, and now we're on a reload. And, what you want to do, guys, is when the gun is reloading, you want to go ahead and be on top of your next target. So as soon as the gun comes up, you can go ahead and empty it. And that's not even for the bat chat. That's just good tanking. That's good autoloader tanking. Now, of course, if you're in something like a T-57 Heavy or your AMX-50B, you're already going to be engaged in the front. There's not really a whole lot you can do. But if you're in a TVP or your 1390 or your 1375, what have you, it still makes good sense. Of course, your Waffenträger E100, aka the Hearst, there's not really a whole lot you can do there, because if you get near anyone, you're going to get spotted and shot from 100 different directions, as we all know. Now, I am moving up on their area here. They're taking some rounds at me here, pot shots. Not very good ones. They're just kind of shooting. Now, if you will notice, I have made an error, and I have realized I made an error. I have enemies on both sides of me, and this is done by my own hand. This is a situation you don't want to be in, having enemies on both sides of you. And it's sadly ironic that I myself did this. You will see me from time to time peek around and just say, hey, where's these other guys? Are they coming over the hill here to shoot me? I just happen to be low enough. And I think the rest of the team, I think the Greens are kind of prohibiting them from pushing up anymore for, fear of getting shot. The downside is we're losing more and more of our team. We were winning. We had a good lead, and somehow it just started slipping from our grasp. But, sometimes that type of thing happens. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. I've got 2 rounds in the clip. I said, you know what? I'm going to come up here. I'm going to get 2 more pins. Let's see what's going on. And now I'm on a reload. And the clicker just straight hit me right. I'm lucky he didn't kill me. And the other clicker is firing at the E3. It's a clicker war. And the funny thing is, they're not shooting at each other. They're shooting at different targets. So I'm just going to kind of try to sit over here until I can pull a reload. Now, I will warn you, what happens here in the next few moments gets extremely hilarious and very, very funny. I was originally going to play some music like, because it's very comical, because they're trying to track me down, and it's just not working for them. So put a clutch shot right there into him. I don't really have a whole lot of time to scope, because I know the rest of the team is coming. I know the clickers are coming. We've got guys coming in right now. And I just keep driving in front of this E3, and I'm thinking to myself, how much longer until I don't get lucky? I put another round in him, and I'm just driving around. I'm like, yep, if I get another reload, I'll be fine. And they're just trying to get me. And they have no idea what's going on. It's literally, at the time, I was just laughing myself. I was laughing so much, and then finally they get me, and they're like, hey, we have to put an end to this guy, because very, very soon he's going to reload, and that's going to be bad news for us. If I had aimed my shots in, if I had not been quite so panicked, I could have clipped out that E3. But the bottom line is, even if I did clip out the E3 with a couple of rounds, I physically did not have enough shells remaining in the tank to end up clutching this out. That's the sad part. If I had some more rounds, I could have maybe made it happen. Either way, we had a good game. We did a lot of damage, a lot of assist. We ended up pulling 66-17 with 28-32 assists. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time.